Creed follows on from Rocky Balboa, so the whole Rocky Balboa saga, through the story of the infamous Apollo Creed, who was one of Rocky's biggest rivals and then best friend later on, before he tragically died during a heavyweight bout in Rocky IV.
Don't sound so cheerful when you say that.
Well, this kind of makes it a lot more cheerful, because then if that didn't happen, then this wouldn't happen.
Never have happened.
So it kind of softens the blow.
Even though it's all fiction.
Yeah,
None of it really happened.
None of it really happened. That's crazy, right? That's why this is so big, because like, to all the big Rocky fans, this literally is like, it might as well be a real story.
You were getting like emotional and everything.
Yeah.
Even watching it, like I haven't seen any of the Rockies, and so at times I was a little bit lost, but even watching it felt like a documentary or a reenactment or something.
Felt so real, right?
Like, at least based on a true story.
Now imagine what it feels like for a real fan.
Yeah.
It is just we just get immersed in it. It's crazy. So this movie follows on from Adonis Creed, who's revealed to be Apollo's son from an affair that he had just before he died. However, his widowed wife, played brilliantly by the way by Felicia Rashad. She was
really
awesome.
Cool.
So
believable.
Captivating, yeah. So she takes Adonis on as her own son in a way to kind of save him from a troubled childhood, until he becomes independent, and then decides, because he then realizes that boxing really is in his blood from Apollo, and then he really wants to pursue his real dream and become a championship boxer just like his dad. So this passion then really drives Donnie to trace back his father's career and find Rocky Balboa in order to convince him to become his trainer.
How good was he?
Apollo? Yeah, he's great. He's a perfect fighter. Ain't nobody ever better.
So how'd you beat him?
Time beat him. Time, takes everybody out. It's undefeated. Anyway, I got to lock up.
So when Mickey died, he came and talked to you, right? Talked you out of quitting, took you to L.A., trained you, brought you back.
How do you know all this?
How do you think?
What are you, like a cousin?
He's my father.
Whoa. Revelation. I love Sylvester Stallone's voice.
Wasn't he great?
I just love his voice. It's so like.
It's ironic you say that, because that was one of the
relaxing.
one of the things he was heavily criticized for earlier in his career.
Mumbling.
I love that now he's kind of worked against that.
It's just like really rich, and it's like gritty but smooth.
Yeah.
Love it.
Absolute legend, Sylvester Stallone.
And his performance in it was really good. I was really impressed.
Definitely worthy of that award.
I was completely underwhelmed by who was it? Do you know who that?
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you said this, and I just as much as I understand what you mean, it's kind of like his character is so structured in a way that there isn't. If he was to do more than he did, then it would just been over the top. If he was to underplay it, then it wouldn't have been strong enough. So he had to kind of hit it at that point.
I hear what you're saying. I just think it could have been anyone. Whereas, like, I mean, obviously, Sylvester Stallone was Rocky, so it had to be him.
Yeah, exactly.
But, like,
it's also that as well. It's like, how do you outshine someone like Sylvester Stallone? You can imagine maybe your view on him would have changed if there was no Sylvester Stallone character in there.
I didn't
if it
think
was
it
heavily
would
centered on Adonis Creed.
You're wrong. Maybe.
He was this is director Ryan Coogler's sort of second collaboration with Michael B. Jordan, which kind of explains heavily why he got the role, because they did Fruitvale Station back in 2013. Absolutely brilliant film, by the way. I absolutely recommend that. Such a good film, which is obviously why Ryan Coogler was able to get this film signed off.
Yeah, cool.
Because the whole thing was pretty much his idea and his take on a different angle for the Rocky Balboa films, and it's just, he does such a good job on this.
Yeah, it was really nice. There was just so many decisions I just thought were really nice.
Creatively.
Yeah, and
aesthetically.
just without you even realizing it, you know, because there's some of the fight scenes and stuff would have been quite boring, quite graphic, and the way that he just got away around that was just lovely.
Yeah.
was really good. Yeah.
You really were in there. You sort of felt like you were in the ring with these fighters.
Yeah, it was very intense.
I think what's really interesting is how he managed to make it all feel like it was one take, and the camera is just moving back and forth between the rounds, between the corners, from the ref.
Yeah,
fight,
yeah.
And it's just,
but
I think
the montages were like quite nice as well. Like you saw different things you wouldn't like normally look at. The only thing I would say about this film that holds me back a bit from loving it was I think if you don't know anything about boxing and you don't know anything about the Rocky films, that it's going to be really hard for you to understand.
Yeah, I did kind of have to hold your hand through the whole thing, be like, oh, by the way, that's this. Oh, by the way, this means this. Why is he holding
that sign? And
but I mean, for us, for the Rocky fans, man, this is just, it's definitely, and also for boxing fans as well.
Yeah,
I'm also boxing, and I just feel like this was so authentic. And I mean, you're never, it's a film at the end of the day, so you're never going to be really true to what really is, you know, boxing or scene and things like that. But it does so well.
And it's not overdone either. It's not
exactly.
It's not massively dramatic.
I think that's what it really achieves well in this. Is it gets it right at the right level.
Yeah.
39 years since Rocky first, and for it to carry on that legacy. I mean, to be honest, I don't think it quite sort of reinvents Rocky, as people have kind of been saying. Oh, it takes Rocky and takes it into a different. It really doesn't. Rocky is always going to be Rocky.
Yeah.
But this does well to carry on that legacy and sort of stand on its own.
Well, it's a different story, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's a different strand, so it's
Absolutely.
not. They're not trying to reinvent Rocky, I don't think, or anything.
Yeah, I just think
it like does have everything a good movie has. It's got a love story. It's got a sob story, a back story. It's got all the components.
I need to draw someone else in on this. Because I feel like generally, as Rocky fans, there's no way someone who has really followed all 6 of the films can say something negative about it. Because I feel like ordinary fans that just watch it like yourself have felt really positive about it, let alone fans. What's negative about it? But Mick, you took a different turn.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was just following the same kind of structure all over again. I thought it was tiring to watch, really, just banging out. Yeah,
tiring to watch. Like what?
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing the same kind of tricks they use in every single movie. The same kind of storyline, the same kind of.
I disagree. What other film have you seen the fight sequences in?
Well, I'm not talking about the fight sequences. I'm not talking about the camera work, because I thought that was absolutely amazing, and how the movie was made. But I'm just talking about how the story goes, like the interactions between characters, the relationships between characters. It's you see that in quite a lot of movies, and
cliche.
Yeah,
it is a lot of stuff is cliche, and I thought that it doesn't do a good job in the legacy of the Rocky movies, just like the new Star Wars film doesn't do its job with the old ones. Yeah, exactly.
It's at the end of the day, I think it's always tough, isn't it, when you're following on such a big franchise. Like you've just mentioned, like the Star Wars, like that was never going to live up to the old franchise. This was never going to live up to Rocky. But it's like Rocky has a set pattern of how it is, the underdog coming through, making it. This followed that pattern. This ticked those boxes. So I don't know, like what else could you have been expecting?
I don't know. I thought I don't know. I was expecting something more dramatic, to happen. I don't know. I don't think the movie grabbed me in a way, and I thought
in terms of the character.
In terms of exactly. In terms of characters and how they all went about
the journey.
Do
you know what?
Well, in terms of like story development, you knew what was going to happen.
Yeah. Like it wasn't the most complex of stories. It was pretty much he has a dream and he's following the dream. Yeah. And I think I kind of get what you mean. You're looking at it in terms of conflict. There wasn't enough conflict in terms of his journey and getting to what he wants.
Exactly.
And I feel like, in a way, with the way his character is and how his life, he grew up being Apollo Creed's son. He was financially stable. He had a stable job. So all of that is all rosies. That's all good. As an audience, we don't always like that. And I think that's where your problem comes in. Because it's like, he hasn't suffered enough to deserve the shot at the championship title.
12 years in care, didn't he?
At the same time, like when you look at it, that's kind of how it would have played out. He would have been comfortable. He wouldn't have been like getting into trouble, doing all this and that. He would have had the financial stability to pursue his dreams, and the only thing that would have been in the way was whether he was good enough. And I think that's why the film, what they do is they use Sylvester Stallone's character Rocky as the conflict. It was the fact that he had to try and get this guy, convince him to train him to come back to a sport that lost his father. And so it's like Rocky now has to come out of this, make this decision to train the son of someone that he lost so close in the same sport.
Yeah.
I still feel like it was just a little bit of a money making, stunt. Let's just develop the story. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to say
I can't see the money. I would have agreed with you on the conflict and the audience and the story, but money.
You're just like, oh look, we haven't done this storyline. Let's just pull Apollo Creed's son and let's just make a story about him. Let's make some more money.
Okay, well everybody, let's just calm down.
We're gonna have our own Rocky bout right here in the studio. But yeah, no, it's really, really interesting actually to see a different take on how it's played out. But for me, I felt like it was really, really well done. So it's just, I think most of the credit is definitely going to Ryan Coogler, because he also directed Sylvester Stallone. For a new director to come into such pressure, taking on a legacy role, a legacy story, and then directing a veteran actor in Sylvester Stallone, and then bringing the best out of him as well, to be worthy of an award.
Yeah, I'm in no way questioning his skills. I'm in no way questioning the cinematography and how it was made. I'm just the storyline
doesn't do it for you.
Yeah, didn't do it for me.
So hats off for me to Ryan Coogler. Brilliant work. I thought it grabbed me, as much as I can say. And so my verdict in this one, 8 out of 10.
Oh really? Okay,
just for the sake of it,
I would say
go on.
6.
You'd say 6.
I'd say 6.
And you'd?
I don't know. I'd probably give it about a 5 or a 6. Yeah.
It's okay. Take a deep breath. Bring it on. Deep breath. Look at me. I like what you're doing out there. All right. You're a little tight. You're gonna loosen up. All right. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to throw your left under the radar. That'll drop him.
Mouthpiece in, seconds out.
Your old man did that to me. It worked.
Mouthpiece in, seconds out. Finish it out.